Congress pretended to care about lowering drug prices for Americans. But when push came to shove, they actually offered massive tax cuts to the private healthcare industry in their recent bill to fund the government, okay? And it's their latest spending bill. Congress ended the year with a massive government funding deal that did little to address those issues, but did cut taxes on the healthcare industry by a whopping $373 billion.
How are we gonna pay for that? How are we gonna pay for that? So the same Republicans and the same corporate Democrats on Medicare for all go, how are we gonna pay for it? And then when you're not looking, because they all get money from the same exact donors, the drug companies and the insurance companies, they turn around and like, here's $373 billion, we're just gonna give it away in the middle of the night. Who cares, who cares, who cares? Donors win, voters lose every time because of the bribery. It is a bribe when you take money from drug companies and health insurance companies and give them $373 billion in tax giveaways. That's money out of our pockets so that their donors get richer. And then meanwhile, Democratic leadership, Republican leadership at least has the decency to lie to you so brazenly that it's obvious, right? They're like, oh yeah, we care about drug prices. No, they don't care, and everybody knows they don't care, right? Democratic leadership ran their entire 2018 campaign on lowering drug prices and fighting them and blah, 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 blah. No such thing. When you're not looking, the same exact drug companies, they're like, oh, here's a giant giveaway, right?
No, this story encapsulates everything that's wrong with Democratic leadership and the Democratic Party. So let me give you the details on what's really going on. And keep in mind, this is important context. When House Speaker Nancy Pelosi brags about her legislative wins, really the only thing she's talking about is helping Obama pass the Affordable Care Act, okay? So she claims that the Affordable Care Act, it's untouchable. Don't you dare, Medicare for all, that would do away with the Affordable Care Act. We can't do that. I fought for it, we're gonna keep it. Okay, so she pretends like she cares about it, but here's what happens behind the scenes. Now, Pelosi said in a statement on the funding deal that Democrats are protecting the quality, affordable health care of millions by permanently repealing health care taxes. So what does that mean?
How does that help people?
Okay, adding to the health industry's year-end victories, the spending package also repeals 3 Obamacare taxes. Okay, the 40% tax on generous Cadillac health plans and the 2.3% medical device tax and the health insurance tax. These were all part of the Affordable Care Act.
So there's different industries that gain from it, but the insurance companies gain the most. And so when they do that, the reason it hurts the Affordable Care Act is because then it makes it less affordable. There was a reason why those taxes were in there, and I remember having this debate back in the day. And the Democratic leadership, the same Democratic leadership, because they've been there forever and ever and ever, said, oh, we need those taxes in there for a delicate balance, and we cannot add the public option because it would disturb that delicate balance. That was their excuse. And don't worry, we have those taxes in there. And now, when you're not looking and there's impeachment and there's other things going on, they turn around and go, give the taxes out, give the donors everything they want, okay? Take them out. Oh, delicate balance, we don't need that balance. It hurts the Affordable Care Act, who cares? Who cares? I already got the credit. Pelosi said, I already got the credit for Obamacare. That's all that
matters to
right?
her. Yep.
It's my legacy, right? But meanwhile, donors, what do you need? Yeah, okay, great. Now remember, you give to Democrats, okay? We'll serve you better than the Republicans.
And look, journalists help her, right? Because journalists will go after Medicare for all by making Nancy Pelosi's points for her, right? Oh, well, what's gonna happen to the Affordable Care Act? Oh, the House Speaker says that this would destroy the Affordable Care Act. I mean, all of these bad faith actors in the media, it's disgusting. So let's talk a little bit about another Democrat, Richard Neal, because he's involved in this story. Then we're gonna break down how much money he's received from the private healthcare industry. So doctor staffing firms owned by private equity groups aired millions of dollars in ads against it. Now, against basically providing a plan to lower drug prices for average Americans and to be able to negotiate drug prices. Now, House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal put forward the outline of a rival plan with a solution more favorable to doctors and hospitals. So the spending plan was actually gonna have some protections for Americans to lower drug prices, and Richard Neal, who's funded by these lobbyists, was like, no, no, we're gonna change that. We're gonna put forth a rival plan that's actually gonna be very favorable to doctors and hospitals. So let's talk about his money, okay? So according to Ballotpedia, between 1989 and 2014, Neil actually raised $627,948 from health professionals. Now in that time frame, he actually raised, over $11 million in total donations. So it kind of gives you a sense of how important that funding from the healthcare professionals really was. Now, followthemoney.org claimed to be up to date. According to them, Neil has raised 1.5 million to round up from the healthcare industry over the course of his career. And if you want to break down that number from the pharmaceutical companies, he's raised $600,669, healthcare professionals over $500,000, hospitals and nursing homes $250,000, health services $131,000. I mean, it's a lot of money. So do you think Richard Neal, a Democrat, really cares about you, a voter, or you, an average American who's struggling to pay for your insulin? No, he doesn't. What he cares about is his political career and securing those donations from the healthcare industry.
Mainstream media likes to talk about controversies, but apparently taking $1.5 million in bribes from the health industry overall is not a controversy. Oh yeah, of course. All of you out there, almost all of you, are real people, okay? You're not in Washington, you're not among the powerful and the elite, okay? Do any of you think that all of those companies are giving Richard Neal, the Democrats and the Republicans, money for charity? No one believes that. Not one actual human being believes that. They're giving it to him to buy him, and it was a purchase that was well worth it. Look at the tax cut they just got. Just one piece of one legislation, let alone all the other giveaways. $373 billion. They give $1.5 million to Richard Neal over his career. They buy him lock, stock, and barrel. He's the head of the House Ways and Means Committee. It's the most powerful committee, the committee that controls the budget. They buy Nancy Pelosi, they buy Steny Hoyer, they buy Richard Neal, they buy the entire Republican Party. They are 100% corrupt. Okay, they buy all of them, and then they get back $373 billion. By the way, every other year. I mean, this is one bill. So where are you, media? Where are you about the real controversies? No, you don't give a damn. You love the corruption. That's why you never, ever, ever cover it. Because you are the corruption. You totally enable this. Are you telling me that those donations were not relevant to their decisions? If you say that, you're pathetically stupid and you should resign immediately. Because there's not one voter who agrees with you. There's not one actual American who thinks that the millions of dollars that they gave to those politicians did not affect their decision. But you in the media, almost all of you, especially the editors, are like, nope, no, I don't see the bribes. I don't see the bribes. I find it perfectly normal that they would give millions of dollars for charity. And then all the politicians who took the money, both Republicans and Democrats, would coincidentally vote with the companies that gave them that money. Then you suck at your job. You suck at it. Let real journalists do it. And the Democratic Party leadership is pathetic. Look, there's real action you can take. AlexMorseForCongress.com. Alex is a progressive Justice Democrat, doesn't take any corporate PAC money. He's running against Richard Neal. Richard Neal is one of the worst Democrats in Congress. It is imperative that Alex Morse wins. If you care, you've got to take action. We have, as progressives, we have limited money. I know that, but you've got to concentrate in the places that matter most. Alex, if he takes down Richard Neal, it's going to send a giant message. End the goddamn bribes. Alex runs on no bribes. Richard Neal runs on all bribes. So send that message. AlexMorseForCongress.com. We'll have the link down below. And I can't wait for the corporate Democrats and the journalists to cry, oh no, you can't support someone who's actually clean and uncorrupted. You have to go kiss the ass of the corrupt Democrats like Richard Neal. No deal. Vote for Alex, vote for all the Justice Democrats.
And I have one final thing to say. Look, guys, we need to be way more strategic in battling this type of corruption. And so I don't do this often. I don't plug myself often. I don't, to promote myself often. But please, since the media refuses to report on things like this that actually matter, right? Because they're hyper focused on smears that are put out by unconfirmed trolls. Please share this video. Share this video. Share it far and wide. everywhere you can, on every platform you can. People need to know about what's really going on with these spending bills. And so if the media is not gonna do its job, if so-called journalists at some of these legacy outlets aren't gonna do their jobs, then let's do it for them. Share this video.
I gotta say one last thing, guys. Did you know that there was another portion of this bill? It was so cruel. They were gonna take out a loophole that if you went to an emergency room and there happened to be an out-of-network doctor, they were gonna say, no, it's okay, you don't have to pay out-of-network expenses, you don't have to get bankrupted. You went to an emergency room, you have no idea if the doctor's in network or out-of-network. And they refused to close the loophole. So now, through no fault of your own, if you go to an emergency room and there's an out-of-network doctor that you have no idea about, they'll bankrupt you. They'll charge the whole goddamn thing to you and bankrupt your family. And then they say Medicare for all creates a bureaucracy. Are you kidding me? Look at this barbaric bureaucracy that we have at the merciless hands of the private insurance companies. But they don't mind bankrupting millions of American families. Why? Hey, Richard Neal, Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, all the Republicans and all the corporate Democrats, they got their bribes. They don't give a damn about you. They already got paid. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.